So I don't know
All
if you
right.
guys all knew, but Marvel does still make movies. They still do make movies. It's been almost what, a year or two since this was supposed to come
Oh,
out.
oh, Sushka. Why'd you say it like that? I don't know if you guys noticed, but Marvel still makes
Cause, dude,
movies.
it's been a drought. Our last, dude, think about it. Our last Marvel movie was Far From Home.
790. Wait, no, 739 days ago. Yep,
Mhm.
to be
But now
exact.
it's
That's
finally
crazy.
here. This movie was supposed to come out in what, May, then November, and then what, November again, but then July. But it's finally here now. Everyone that's been waiting, Black Widow released last week, and now we're finally getting around to reviewing this trash movie.
Wow, it was not trash.
Nah,
Come
it's not
on,
trash. It's not trash.
like it's pretty. In my opinion, I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought it was great. Honestly, I loved this movie. It was a nice experience to like see another Marvel movie in theaters again, especially after 2 years of
I
not
gotta say,
being.
I did not watch it in theaters, so like maybe that would have changed my opinion. So just keep in mind this is from someone who did not watch it in the theaters because I'm a pleb.
I mean, I can only speak for myself. So like, if for me, I think the experience in theater, especially with like the people that I went with, we had a great time. We had a fun time watching it. And we're just laughing at the movie, like the stupid stuff. Like you remember, like when she pulled out the gun at the guys, and she was like, "I will kill you
Oh
all."
yeah, I thought that was
Bro,
stupid.
I was like, I was like, that's cute, and the
Yeah, the
whole
thing is,
audience
you
started
had a whole
laughing.
things started laughing. I was in like a living room with like four people. It was just silence.
Bro, I was like, that's cute, and then the whole audience started laughing. Like, yeah, it was actually a pretty great experience. But I'm pretty sure if you would have saw it in theaters, probably wouldn't
I
change my
probably would
mind.
have liked it more, but like, man, I just couldn't get with this movie. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's no. It's probably the lowest I would put it is like B minus. Like if I could put
B
it
minus.
here, maybe even
That
C if I was feeling on a bad day. But then this movie was just like, I don't know what else we said it on. It was probably, I think it was one of the episodes where like this movie wasn't great. This movie wasn't bad. It was just meh. Like I didn't care because she's already dead. Like what? Nothing that happens in this movie can really matter except what happens with Yelena and the other characters. Any development
yeah,
she goes through in this movie won't matter because we know where she ends up on the bottom of a freaking cliff, dead.
bro. I said this in my review. Out of all the things that happened to Natasha inside of this film, I don't want to hear anybody say trash about F9 being ridiculous because the stuff that happens to Natasha in this film, she should be dead. And I've heard some people say that everything that happens to her inside of this film, she wouldn't die from that. No,
Yeah,
she's a
that's
regular
cap.
human. She would die from that. Everything that happens inside of this film to her, she could die from that. I mean, she could take a beating. That's cool. But jumping out of
Getting
a
thrown off
sky
a
base,
bridge that high, like landing on your
yeah,
back,
and
yeah, you're
then
done.
yeah, your back hits the car and breaks the glass. Oh yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Like it's over.
Hmm.
So I don't want to hear anybody talk trash about F9 being ridiculous because action inside of this movie, I liked it. It was pretty ridiculous though. Like I'm just saying, made me feel like I was
Bro,
watching
regardless
F10.
of how these two movies feel, I do feel like Fast 9 had a better plot than this one.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't think like the overall plot in this movie was that interesting. Like the subtext behind it is good. Like, I think it's a really great
Uh,
premise that like the message that they can do with this, where they just have this one guy like abusing all these girls and turning them into like his little weapons. But if you
uh-huh.
just break it all down, it's just another MacGuffin thing. Not even the MacGuffin part's just kind of like it feels kind of tacked on. Like there's this magic mist that removes all the red room stuff, and then they have to get that to Dreykov. So it's just like I don't know. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball with what should be like a great send off for Natasha.
Hmm. So you would agree that the super secret weapon, the orb from F9, that plot, the MacGuffin plot, that
It was
plot,
just more
you
enjoyable
thought
to me.
that plot. Hmm,
I didn't really enjoy the plot of this movie because I didn't really care.
hmm. I mean, for me, I thought the plot was better than F9. I thought this whole movie was actually better than F9. And I love the Fast and Furious movies. But I just think that the plot was like a lot better because, it didn't feel like these characters were some like John Cena coming in as Vin Diesel's brother, and like what we know about Dom is that he's all about family, but he's never said anything about having a brother. Neither did Mia. But in this film, you're introduced to characters that are inside of like Natasha's basically worldview, and like she's inside of her, they're inside of her life. So like the plot kind of revolves around them a lot. So that's
But it's still
I
kind of
feel
just the
like
same. Like Natasha did never mention she had like this sister, this family before that was fake. Nothing
yeah,
that
but
happened
then
in this
again,
movie was ever mentioned.
that wasn't her real family though. So like there's no
It's still a
reason to
pretty
mention it.
big part of her life. Like no one remembers
Three
this giant
years?
sky-based thing happening, like right in front of
Oh,
Ross.
you mean like after you mean like Infinity War and Endgame?
Yeah, like the stuff that happened in this movie was never mentioned by the other movies. And retconning and stuff is fine.
I mean, there's no reason to. Those movies actually didn't really need us to
And if you
know
think
about
about
what
it,
Black Widow was
Dom really
doing.
didn't have a need to mention Jacob because he had already kicked him out of the
Uh,
family. Jacob wasn't
uh,
a part of his family.
uh, what? Mia didn't talk about him.
No one cares about Mia.
Yeah, everybody cares about Mia,
All right,
bro.
no
So,
Fast
so,
Nine, Black Widow.
but like, I, I just don't agree. Like Infinity War and Endgame, they were too big of stories to even push in. Oh yeah, what this was 2018. Oh yeah, 2 years ago, I just knocked down a sky base from the sky. Who cares? All right, let's go fight some aliens in Wakanda.
Yeah.
What? Why that feels weird to
hmm
tag that into it.
And they
So
couldn't. They probably couldn't account for everything. Like they probably didn't know they wanted to make the movie like this.
honestly, they probably didn't. But as I've learned from interviews, Scarlett Johansson was like, "This isn't a movie that we needed to make. It's a movie that we wanted to make. We just
I feel like
wanted to
this
make
like
a story about Black Widow."
this problem would have been erased if they just made this movie like so long ago. Like
I
they should have made this movie before she died. I feel like she deserved that movie then instead of now.
I mean, and in my opinion, I feel you, but at the same time, I don't know how they was going to be able to fit that into the thing, into like the what
Like
the yeah the schedule.
they should have either had her movie before or just not made this movie. Because it's like you can tell like at the end, like with her staring off to the distance, it's supposed to be this big goodbye moment to her. But the thing is, like, yeah, this is all happy and stuff, but we know everything that happens to what she does and where she goes. And we know that everything in this movie really doesn't matter except for the stuff that happens with the other characters besides her.
Yeah, but then again, think about it. It's kind of like X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Like we started off with Wolverine, having his adamantium claws and like being a part of the X-Men. It took us actually 3 movies for with him a part of the X-Men, and
Three
then he got
movies
a solo
compared to
movie.
what, like 24?
20
I don't,
what? No, she was
however
only in
many more.
7.
Still, there's this whole storyline that's planned out. This movie, I really just don't think it should have came out right now. And the fact that it did came out after she died just made me not care about it.
Mm.
And I've been saying
Well,
that for years.
years, like 2.
Yeah, plural.
Uh, yeah, like 2. Uh yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know like when they was going to be able to put that movie into the schedule, especially with them adding in Spider-Man and stuff. I don't know how they was going to be able to do it, but I'm glad that this movie is out. I mean, I'm glad that the movie is here. Like I'm glad that we actually got a Black Widow movie. It doesn't matter if she's already
Yeah,
dead or
finally,
not. I mean,
she does need one.
like she needed one. I mean, they gave Hawkeye a series, but then again, Hawkeye as a character and Black Widow as a character, they deserve, TV shows like spy TV shows. They gave Black Widow a movie because of Scarlett Johansson.
Just
So,
something outside
uh,
of the main, movies every year. They needed something.
honestly, I'm glad that they did something like this though, because it was a small contained story. Even though it had big stakes, it was a small contained story. Set in the past. It was a prequel. It didn't really have the whole weight of the MCU on its shoulders. It had MCU references, but anything that happened outside of the MCU, you really didn't have to worry about because she was dead already. So you really didn't have to worry about potentially spoiling anything a lot. You can just go for the fences and try to make the best Black Widow movie that you could, and that was my interpretation of it. So yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
but let's talk about the characters. Like,
The characters, honestly,
lovely set of characters.
the characters in this movie outshine the star of the movie. Like, I really think they gave, well, not all of them, most of the important ones. Like
Hmm.
Scarlett Johansson being the main character in this, I feel like they didn't really utilize her as much as they could have. Like this is supposed to be our big send off to her, but even then, she kind of takes like a back seat to like all the stuff that should be done to the main character. Like she's not the funniest, she doesn't have the coolest action scenes. Like I feel the main standout character to me is Yelena. Like
Yeah, that's
she
basically the
like
typical answer.
because she was like, dude, she had everything. Like I think they did the like little sister dynamic perfectly with Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson. Like some of these jokes that she did, like actually genuinely made me laugh, and I rarely laugh at these Marvel movies.
Especially now, because most of their jokes get stale. But anyway, no, I mean, yeah, the lovely set of characters. I don't think that they kind of overshadow her. I think Yelena overshadowed her a little bit, but every other character, I think Natasha stands above, and that's mainly because of Scarlett Johansson's star power and her acting prowess. But Yelena is the biggest standout character
Yeah,
here. I'm gonna tell you one joke that I like laughed so hard at in the theater. It was the period joke. I
yeah. How she's
I
just like
could not.
point blank. Like that's a funny scene to me.
I don't get my periods. I don't have a uterus. I'm like, oh my god, like, and I just
Also, like
started crying in the
she's
theater.
making fun of her. Like she does the thing where she does the superhero landing,
Yeah, like
and even just a
you'll
bunch of
total
their
poser.
smaller dialogues. Or like she's messing up the helicopter, and she's doing. We're both doing a good job. Like
Yeah,
Florence Pugh, like this is her first Marvel movie, but she already has like the charisma as if she's been there for like the entire saga. Like I think
yeah,
that's
and
like if they're setting up to do future projects with her, this was a good movie to get the audience like used to her and get them to like her as a character.
I mean, it's nothing new of a character in the MCU. I mean, we all have like those quirky character. Like in every Marvel movie, there's a quirky, charismatic, funny character. Like there's always that sarcastic character inside of each Marvel movie. I mean, she is different in her own way, yes, but like she could have easily came off as just like a cookie cutter,
Yeah,
character
the
from the
annoying little
MCU.
sister.
Kind of
Like
like, yeah, kind of like the annoying little sister, or she could have been like Michael Pena-esque,
yeah, that's what I was about to
She
say.
could have
Like a lot of people don't like Luis. Like he's just the joke character.
you No, I meant that in a like no, I meant like, like Louise being the funny character, her being the funny character. She could have been like a cookie cutter version of him, not that in a bad way.
Well, I meant bad, not bad, like generic. Like you said, like every Marvel movie has like that type of character.
But I thought she was a nice little character inside of the mix, as some little girl who sees these weird people as her mother and her father. I almost cried at that scene,
Yeah,
at that point.
like she was actually like I'm telling you, like she the comedy even like when it comes to like the sadder more serious moments like she really had the best performance.
Yeah, and I've only seen her in one thing, and I was
Yeah,
fighting with my family.
I haven't
Like
seen her in
I
anything except this.
Dude, like I've seen her in this and fighting with my family, but the only line that I remember her having, actually two lines that I remember her having, is her saying this to the Rock. She said, "Dick me down and bury me pregnant," and then she was like, and then she said to like this guy that was wrestling her, she was like, "Do you got a stiffy?" or something like that. But anyway, yeah, fighting
Yeah,
with
so
my
I'm
family was a
excited to see
funny
Florence
movie.
Pugh and future stuff because like she can do the jokes, she that looks good in her action scenes, and she can even do the more serious moments. So like I don't really have any worries for her being a bad character in the future.
Mm-mm. Well, let's talk about Red Guardian,
Yeah, Red
Alexei.
Guardian, dude, I
I
like
heard, I,
Barber. Like I know him from Stranger Things. He was funny in the
mm-hmm.
movie, but like I really feel like they did underuse him a little bit.
Why do
Like
you say that?
like I feel like he
Is
didn't
this
really like
is
do
this
any.
be is this because of the movie being feminist? Hmm.
No, no. It's just like I feel like they could have done like more like just give this dude some more character than just like being a joke. Like I kind of like that small dynamic he had in the prison where he was like, yeah, you know, Cav, all these fights I had with Cav, and like people calling him out about it. But other
Hmm.
than that, he was just really there for jokes. Like from the trailers, I expected we'd see like a lot of fight scenes between him and like Taskmaster, or just like him doing stuff. But like, really, the only action scene we get of him is in the prison and versus Taskmaster, and I really don't even remember the Taskmaster fight being that long. But
It
I
wasn't
thought he
that
was
long. It was
a
cut up.
character. He did make me laugh, but I feel like they could have done more with him.
He was my second favorite character
Yeah,
of
that's what I
this
was
movie.
gonna say.
It was her, it was Elena, him, and then Natasha right underneath there. But for me, I always like not always said, but like once I got out the movie, I was like, this is a guy that's so egocentric, that's such a simple man, that's so for the country that he can't even look past the blindness of his ego to even see or like to care about what happened to these girls. Like he doesn't know what happened to these girls, and like he's trying to be sincere, but like we all have that person in our family that tries to be sincere, but they just can't break past their own ego. They just can't break past their own narcissism. But you know that they care. And that's basically what I got from the characters. And that's why I really like him so much because yeah, he is the comedic relief, but like he genuinely do care about these girls. He just doesn't know how to express it in such a way yet. But that's just me.
I don't know. I didn't really see it that deep. I don't know. I kind of took it more like surface value. It was like, yeah, he's just kind of be what's the word, ignorant. But I don't know. I feel like they didn't. He didn't really have much
Yeah,
depth as a character.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he can be like a little ignorant. Like that's like I say, he can be like a little ignorant and stuff like that, but he
Like the
still
foundation
genuinely
was
cares.
there for me. Like I saw what they were doing. Like even at the beginning, where like he just doesn't even care that he's about to send his daughters off, like his quote unquote daughters.
My
Just wants to get
girls are
back
the
in the
toughest
suit.
girls in the world.
But yeah, I feel like they didn't really do
Yeah.
that much with it.
Hmm. Well, hey, if you hate it, I love it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
But
don't hate it. He's my second favorite character. Just like didn't give us enough. I would have liked
I
to see
feel that.
more.
I can understand that. But let's talk about Melinda. What? That's her name? Melina? Melinda? Melina? Melina.
She
Yeah,
was
it's Melina.
cool. I don't know. Her motivations, like, she just kind of turned on this organization she's been working for like decades, or however old she is. I don't know. She was there, I guess.
She was there.
Yeah.
I
I really don't have much to say about her.
found her intriguing, honestly. Like as a woman that's been through the red room like 4 times before Natasha was born, and then another time after she was born. Yeah, I can. Man, I that's rough. That gotta be
Wait,
rough.
she did
That's all
that?
she
Was
knows.
was that said in the movie?
Yeah, that was said in the movie. She said she's been cycled through the red room 4 times before she was even
I do
born.
not remember that, and I just watched it again yesterday.
Oh my god, you suck.
Yeah, I
Like,
honestly like I'm not even like I actually have nothing to say on Melina because like I don't know, man. I got nothing.
yeah, like she plays the straight man. Like she's the straight man. She's the strategist. You know what I mean? But I really loved her character. I really found her intriguing because that's all she knows. All she knows is the real room. All she knows how to be is that submissive person. So I can see I like her character a
Sure
lot.
thing,
But
dude.
hmm?
Nothing.
What you was about to say?
Nothing.
Hmm.
Let's move
Let's
on.
talk about Rick Mason.
Rick Mason. Oh, Mr. Friendzone. It was
Oh,
funny.
you remember him?
Yeah, I remember.
Mr. Friendzone.
That's
I
that's
like
the only
that
reason
name.
I remember because I said that joke. He really
It took him.
no.
He
I'm pretty sure
did.
the actor said one of his favorite scenes that they cut was like him lying in bed with Scarlett Johansson, and he said it was like an intimate scene because they were like talking about stuff. So yeah, the dude's a simp in even in real life. But dude,
That's a
honestly, I
bit over
thought
the
he was
top.
gonna be Taskmaster, but I don't know. He was like a kind of cool guy. He
That's
was one of those side.
yeah. That's what I kind of said today in a ranking that I had recorded. Whatever. I said that uh yeah, my theory and like how everybody else had this theory, he was going to be Taskmaster because Taskmaster didn't have a name on their poster
Yeah,
and he had a name on his poster. Okay. Yeah, everybody else have different characters except for Taskmaster and this guy. Okay. You put two and two together. They're Taskmaster. But then going into the movie I was like maybe the mom is Taskmaster.
I
I'm thinking
honestly
the
thought
mom
like
might be
if he
Taskmaster.
was Taskmaster, I feel like that he would have had a better reason to be Taskmaster, even though it would have been stupid. Because honestly, he
Yeah.
has more of a connection with Natasha than the daughter. What's her name? I don't
Yeah,
even
this
remember. Antonia? Was that her
that
name?
was her name?
Was it
Honestly, bro, I don't even remember her name either. Honestly,
Dreykov's daughter?
Dreykov's daughter. That's what we're gonna call her. Yep.
Yep. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
character
Thinking of Dreykov,
Rick
villains. Rick.
Drake
Yeah, Rick is
Dreykov
all right.
Dreykov though.
Yeah, Dreykov is a villain. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just kind of whatever.
Kind of nasty.
Like yeah,
He's kind
he's
of
a
a
villain that you
disgusting
could
guy.
definitely hate, but like
Yeah, obviously.
oh, he like the whole like pheromone thing was like kind of it was cool, but it was dumb.
Well, Old Spice. Get it correct.
Oh yeah, his little deodorant that he had that made it so no one could hurt him. Like
Yep.
he was just kind of there. Like he was a villain that they could put their idea of like, yo, this dude he abuses women. Let's get on him, Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is a guy that kidnaps little girls and makes them do whatever he wants. That's kind of disgusting though.
Yeah,
Like
like
I'm
he's definitely a
I've
bad
I've
guy.
seen I've seen the film 3 times, and every time I'm like, this is a disgusting bastard. I want I want to beat him up. I want to beat the crap out of him. Like I wish they didn't kill him. I wish they just like would have beat the crap out of him. Honestly. Just a thought of like a I just a thought of like an older man like just kidnapping little children, little girls at that it's just something
Hey, like
disgusting
he's a
about that.
bad dude, but like so far these Phase 4 villains have been kind of whack. Except Loki.
Yeah.
Except Loki. Loki was
Uh,
pretty decent.
But I mean, what villain like
Loki
what was the
really didn't
villain
have
in
a
Loki?
villain, so yeah, I can't really count.
Exactly.